Come on into the scope. Come on into the scope. Hello, hello. Y'all come on in. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Just said that I had an error broadcasting, so let me know that you're up there. Okay, yep. Tink, good morning. Hey, Nikki Cole, good morning. One Pope B, good morning to you. Hey, Sheena, good morning. Hey, Terry, good morning. L. Dickens, good morning. Miss G, Jai, good morning. Hey, what's going on, man? Good morning. Hey, Sister Sheila, Brother Ken, Sister Ronnie. Hey, Mel, Rube, you check out those funnels. Sister Marguerite, good morning. Deacon Jones, good morning. Sister Anita, hello. Hey, Tasha and Tony, praying for you, Tasha. I'm not sure where you're broadcasting from, but just know that we are praying for you, believing God for peace and for healing. Hey, good morning, Sister Felicia. Hey, Deacon Bellamy, First Lady Bellamy, good morning. Hey, I see hearts already coming up. Appreciate those hearts. Kind of like clapping on Periscope. Amen. Appreciate that. Good morning, Pastor White. Good morning. Sister Bugs, Minister Bazemore. Glad to have you guys on. Dallas Blue. Thank you guys for sharing. I see some of you already getting ready to share, looking at sharing. And the hearts. Appreciate both of those. The reason we ask you to share is because we believe that the gospel is important. We believe that the lessons we learn and that he shares with all of us, can benefit more than us. And so the shares just give us an opportunity to connect with more people and use this platform, as in Matthew 28, going ye therefore. So I appreciate those in advance. Good morning. Good AM. Hey, Sister Sharon. Listen, don't want to hold you guys long, so let me kind of jump right into our teaching today. This is a hardship. Hey, Deacon Doe. This is a hardship 4. And with hardship 4, today I want to talk about the perfect storm. So let me kind of set that up. Hey, Sister Cynthia. Let me kind of set it up with these comments. 1, God's ways are not our ways. Let me start there. God's ways are not our ways. That's true. The way he thinks is not always the way we think. His method is not always our method, nor is it the preferred method. But I do think that when you have faith and you trust God, do you have to know that he is involved with everything that has anything to do with us. Again, God is involved with everything that has anything to do with us. So if that's the case, let's refocus now. Matthew 8, Mark 4, Jesus gets on a ship, right? The disciples follow him on the ship. Then a storm rises on the sea that causes the ship to rock. Jesus goes to sleep in the same ship. Here's what I'm suggesting today. I'm suggesting that in life, when you have hardships, that sometimes the very hardships that you're handling and dealing with are perfect storms. That while on the one hand, we talked about shifting your perspective on looking at what is and what is not a storm. On the other hand, even if it is hard or difficult or strenuous, maybe it was perfectly designed for you. That you don't have to deal with what others deal with. You don't have to go through what everybody else has to go through. But there are some perfect storms that are designed for you. I think the disciples have a problem with the storm. Jesus has a problem with the disciples. You know the problem I have? The problem I have in this story is that the storm ceased. That's it. I think, we celebrate that Jesus calmed the storm, that he stands up and he says, peace, be still. And I get it. I don't want to discredit that miracle. That is miraculous. But that's not what he wanted to do. Jesus kind of like parents sometimes. He'll say no. He'll say no. He'll say no. And then after the child keeps asking over and over and over again, finally the parent will give the child what they ask for, even when they know that that's not the perfect will for the child, or that's not, exactly what he desired. And I really firmly believe that when Jesus calms this storm, this is not what he wanted to do. Stacy, it's not exactly, his perfect will for them. I think his perfect will was to sail through the storm. When the storm ceases, so does their progress. Their progress is paused when the winds die down. When the rain stops falling, they stop being lifted up. Because the storm was designed to show them and prove to them how much faith they really had. And I think in our lives, there's some changes that have taken place. There's some shifts that are happening. And we may be celebrating prematurely. We may be throwing up the confetti way too early because some things stopped, or because the job changed, or because a relationship may have shifted to a different place. And, while we're praising and highlighting the seats of our pain, what we really have to be acknowledging is that we may have just bailed out of a perfect storm. Look, I'm going to go out on a limb, or better yet, I'm going to walk out on the plank and say that there are some storms that God allows because when the storm comes, it proves your strength. Look, all change doesn't mean improvement. Now, every time there's improvement, there must be some change. But that doesn't mean that every time that there is change, that it's improvement. I'll say that again. That just because things change doesn't mean that change is improvement. In order for there to be improvement, there must be some change. And sometimes that change takes place in storms. I think it is author Andy Stanley. And he says that you don't want to be married to, you want to be married to the mission, but you want to date the mission. No, he doesn't say that. He says be married. I'm sorry. He says be married to the mission, but date the method. Again, be married to the mission, but date the method. One more time. Be married to the mission, but date the method. And he doesn't use it in the same context, but here's what he's saying. He's saying the end goal should be what you stick to. But the method that you do, the method that you use, how you get there, should be something that's adaptable, amendable, changeable. And since that's true and that's the case, we have to allow God to use some unorthodox methods to get us into some unorthodox places. I'm telling you today that maybe the hardships you're dealing with is God's perfect storm. If it doesn't rain eventually in your life, you'll deal with a drought and you'll be complaining about that. If the winds never blow in your life, then life will get too hot. And I say this, instead of if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. I'm saying if you can't stand the heat, stay in the kitchen long enough to adapt to the heat so that you can handle whatever hardships come. Look, hardships are going to come. Life is going to have some ups and downs. Life is not going to be a crystal stair for any of us. So today, sail through your perfect storm. The worst thing that happened to these disciples is that the storm would cease. Now, of course, God makes things work together for good. So when the storm ceases, they get to see God differently. When the storm ceases, they recognize him as someone stronger and more sovereign than they've ever seen him. But he was going to prove that anyway. He could have proved that same point by simply letting them see him sleep through the storm. Today, recognize that God has perfectly prepared for you a perfect storm. Sail on. All aboard. Do not bail ship. Do not wake him up. Let him sleep. As a matter of fact, lay down beside him. Jump on your lazy boy. Relax. Parlay a little bit. Chill just for a moment. Because the storm you're going through is perfectly designed for you. Be blessed. Have a great day. Glad to have you guys on too. Have a great day.